In 1518, an entire town in France started dancing. Not at a party, not for fun. They danced until their feet bled, until their hearts gave out, until they dropped dead in the street. And no one has ever figured out why. That's not even the weirdest thing in this video. Not close. We've got a 2,000-year-old machine that shouldn't exist yet. A ship that kept sailing with nobody on it. A monument that got blown up because too many people read it and got nervous. 10 facts, 0 explanations. Stick around because by the end of this, you're going to trust history a lot less than you did 5 minutes ago. Let's ruin your week. It started with one woman. Frau Trophea walked into the street in Strasbourg and started dancing. No music, no party. She just danced. For days. Then 30 more people joined her. Then 100. By the end, up to 400 people were dancing themselves into exhaustion, and some of them literally danced until they died of heart attacks and strokes. City officials' solution? They hired musicians and built a stage, because they thought more dancing would cure it. It did not. Historians have blamed food poisoning, mass hysteria, a stress cult. Nobody agrees. So somewhere in the 1500s, hundreds of people boogied themselves to death, and we still don't know why the music never stopped. Somewhere around the early 1400s, someone wrote a 240-page book, illustrated with plants that don't exist, naked women bathing in green liquid, and star charts for constellations nobody recognizes. It's written entirely in a script that matches no known language, dead or alive. Codebreakers who cracked Nazi Enigma machines have thrown themselves at this thing and walked away empty-handed. Best current theory? It's either the deepest secret in botanical history or one medieval guy's elaborate way of doodling in a notebook so nobody could read his grocery list. We genuinely cannot rule either one out. In 1901, divers pulled a lump of corroded bronze out of a Greek shipwreck. Inside it, over 30 interlocking gears, precise enough to predict eclipses, track the moon's phase, and calendar the Olympic Games, built around 100 BC. That's a mechanical computer made a full 1,400 years before Europe figured out clockwork again. Nobody knows who built it, and nobody has found anything else like it. It's like finding a smartphone in a Roman sandal. December 1872. A ship is found drifting off the coast of Portugal, fully intact, sails up, cargo untouched, a half-eaten breakfast still on the table. The lifeboat is gone. So is the entire crew. 10 people vanished mid-voyage, with 0 signs of struggle, storm, or piracy. No bodies were ever found. No distress call, obviously, because it's 1872. They just left. Or something made them leave. We'd love to tell you which. In 1587, over 100 English colonists set up shop on Roanoke Island. 3 years later, a resupply ship shows up and finds the entire colony gone. No bodies, no battle wreckage, just an empty fort and one word carved into a post. Croatoan. That's it. That's the whole clue. 400 years later, and Croatoan is still the most famous single-word graffiti in American history, and we still don't fully know what it means. A 2,000-year-old clay jar found in Iraq containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod, a setup that, if you fill it with an acidic liquid like vinegar, produces electricity. A working battery from ancient Mesopotamia, roughly 1,800 years before Alessandro Volta got credit for inventing one. Some historians say it stored scrolls. Some say it's a battery. Nobody's found a light bulb to test the second theory, unfortunately. Since the 1980s, hundreds of small, handmade tiles have been showing up embedded into the asphalt of major city streets, mostly Philadelphia, but as far as South America. They all reference resurrecting dead people, using something to do with the philosopher Arnold Toynbee and a 1950s sci-fi movie. Whoever's been installing these, at night, undetected, into literal roads, has never been caught. That's not ancient history. That's a mystery happening within walking distance of somebody reading this right now. 1948, Adelaide, Australia. A well-dressed man is found dead on a beach. No ID, tags cut from his clothes, and a tiny scrap of paper in his pocket reading, "Tamam Shud," Persian for "It is ended," torn from the last page of an extremely rare book of poetry. Inside that same book, a code, scrawled in pencil, that cryptographers still haven't cracked. He was identified via DNA only a few years ago, but why he died and what that code says remains completely unsolved. In 1980, a mysterious man calling himself R.C. Christian commissioned a 19-foot granite monument in rural Georgia, inscribed in 8 languages with 10 guidelines for humanity's survival. Half practical, half deeply unsettling. He paid in cash. He was never identified. In 2022, someone blew the monument up in the middle of the night, and it was demolished before anyone could even investigate the bombing properly. So now the mystery has a mystery on top of it. Since 1795, treasure hunters have been digging into a small patch of dirt on Oak Island, Nova Scotia, convinced something enormous is buried underneath. Pirate gold, Templar relics, take your pick. Over 2 centuries, 6 people have died searching for it. Booby traps, flood tunnels, and mysterious wooden platforms keep turning up the deeper crews dig. Nobody has ever found the treasure. Nobody has even agreed on what they're looking for. It is, financially, one of the worst investments in human history, and people are still doing it right now. 10 facts, 10 dead ends. And that's kind of the point. History isn't a settled story. It's a crime scene we keep losing evidence at. So here's the deal. Pick the one that bothered you the most, and put your best theory in the comments. I'm not saying you'll solve it. I'm saying cryptographers, historians, and the entire internet already failed, so the bar is extremely low. Subscribe if you want more of history's unsolved receipts. I've got plenty.